Making pizza at home, totally worth it. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another Koze channel video. For today's video, we're doing another Koze kitchen, and I actually tweeted out to you guys asking if you wanted to do pizza today or burgers, since we're due for some savory foods. And a majority of you guys were saying both, but a lot of you guys said pizza, which I feel like is super fitting, you know, the shift in seasons. If we had to say pizza and burgers were seasons, I feel like burgers make more sense in the summer anyway, so we'll hold off on the burgers for now, but bookmark it because it's coming soon. So 65% of you guys said pizza and 35% of you guys said burgers. So today we are gonna be doing exactly that. We're gonna be making some vegan za. I got all the ingredients, including vegan cheese. And we're gonna be making also some super yummy garlic knots that you can make as like an appetizer while you wait for your za. When we do these Koze kitchens, we always talk about something, you know, relevant as we bake or cook. And so for today, I figured it would be a really fun, just kind of like topic of debate to talk about short-term gratification versus long-term gratification. Kind of like making your own pizza instead of getting it delivered. I'm gonna set my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, start rolling out my dough, and start chatting with you guys. So I feel like this is a really good topic, not only just because it's a new season, and I feel like with any new season, there's just like a whole new chance to start fresh, but also in general, I feel like there's such a beauty of like long-term gratification versus short-term in the sense that we know that summer's around the corner. You can look at spring as almost like a chance to put in some hard work, get some spring cleaning done, organize our whole entire lives, if you will, so that once summer comes around, we're able to enjoy it more. That's kind of like how I'm looking at my spring right now. You could do this in terms of, like I said, spring cleaning. You could also look at that as a situation for like maybe you want to start hitting the gym before summer comes around. Maybe you want to have a new job before the summer, or set yourself up so that you don't have to work this summer and you can just travel. Like no matter what you're working on, no matter what your goals are, I feel like we can all agree that when we put in the work and we do the time, things that we have to wait a little longer for, things that take a little longer to process, things that take a little bit more of our energy and our discipline and our focus always end up feeling a little bit better at the end of it. This is so much fun. Here we go. I was going for a thick crust deep dish type of deal. Okay, next I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting in some pizza sauce. Now you can use any pizza sauce you like. I'm just using Classico Organic. It's just marinara sauce because I'm a big fan of marinara. I'm a big fan of anything garlic really, which these garlic knots that we're gonna make while this pizza's in the oven are gonna be top notch. I feel like I need to just make a quick disclaimer that I don't always stay motivated, but I think when it comes to working really hard on goals that are really big for us and really important to us, I know that it's hard to keep your eye on the prize, especially if the thing that you're waiting for is really far along down the line, or if it's gonna take a lot of work. But for me, I feel like when you can break a long-term goal or a long-term project that you're working on, if you can break it down into bite-sized pieces and basically make it feel like you're getting short-term gratification on a daily basis, whether that's, for instance, we talked about like maybe going to the gym now that summer's around the corner. If you look at that as a whole, it might be like, oh my God, like that's so daunting. Instead, if you just look at it as every single day that you wake up and you go to the gym, that is like your short piece of gratification. That is like your little win for the day that's feeding into your bigger win, you know? And I think that if we can keep our mind focused on short sprints, then it makes running after like a long-term goal a lot less daunting than just going for a short-term goal and selling ourselves short. Now, for all of my vegans out there, I'm gonna tell you the biggest trick that I have when it comes to vegan pizza is that you have to use garlic. Like, I hope you guys like garlic mixed in with the sauce or the cheese. I'm telling you, it makes the difference from like vegan cheese versus normal cheese. I'm gonna put a little bit, actually I'm gonna use the roasted garlic. I'm gonna put some roasted garlic on the sauce down before I put the cheese, and it makes just a huge difference. And like I mentioned, today we're gonna be using vegan cheese. So you guys can use whatever you guys have at home, but my favorite, I guess maybe not my favorite, but one of my go-tos is the Daiya Deliciously Dairy-Free Cheddar and the Daiya Deliciously Dairy-Free Mozza. Now I'll always mix both for vegan pizzas because why have one when you could have both, you know? Fastest way to know if you're doing something for the sake of getting like a short sense of happiness or comfort for it versus doing something for the sake of getting like a long-term sense of comfort or joy from something is always to ask yourself, what's your intention? Because I feel like whenever you're setting any kind of goal in life or setting any kind of standard for yourself in life, there's always an intention behind it, even if we're unconscious to it. So I feel like the more mindful we are as to why we're doing what we're doing, the more we're able to catch ourselves when we're taking shortcuts and basically push ourselves or motivate ourselves to do the longer sprint. Just a series of tasks that I know are going to take me a while, that are going to feed into a bigger goal of mine that's going to take me some time to accomplish. Every time I go to sit down and do so, I always, like I said, I try and break things down into shorter sprints. So whatever my goal is, if it's a long-term goal, I'll try and find little mini goals that feed into that long-term goal, and then I'll literally schedule them in. And so I think that if you're really smart and you're really cautious about what you're saying and planning into whether you use a bullet journal, a planner, your phone, whatever, if you break down your big goal into smaller goals and then actually pick dates and get like specific about what it's going to look like when you hit those mini goals and how they're going to feed into that bigger goal, it's going to make you so much more excited about your plan and also so much more excited about your outcome. We're how many steps in now, and I'm way more excited to eat this than I would be if I was waiting for delivery. For those of you guys that also don't know, there is also such thing as vegan pepperonis, and these are one of my favorite things ever when I'm doing pizza nights at home. So it's not mandatory. You guys can make your pizza however you want. You can even go ham and put a bunch of vegetables on there, which is normally my go-to. I like olives, mushrooms, and green peppers. I feel like those are like my main or my favorite pizza toppings. But today I'm just gonna go for a classic pepperoni, just probably for the sake of aesthetics and also so that it's more enjoyable for all of you guys out there, because I know not a lot of people like a lot of vegetables on their pizza. Not to mention these little pepperonis are perfect for like if you're having like a, you know, appetizer night and you do crackers and stuff and you want like a vegan substitute. Pepperonis are really good. Definitely make sure you flour your cutting board, otherwise your pizza might get a little stuck. Casual Koze kitchen klutziness, as per usual. Just to get a little fancy while we wait for the oven to continue heating, I'm gonna literally take just some crushed up roasted garlic and like shove it into the crust just to make it, you know, just a little extra garlicky than usual. I'm gonna pop this in the oven now for 20 minutes and then let's move on to our garlic knots. Garlic knots, let's do this. I'm like really excited about these, by the way. I feel like we're gonna stuff them, make them good, make them garlicky because apparently we don't have enough garlic going on today. So I'm literally just gonna use the leftover of my dough. This reminds me of Play-Doh as a kid. And then I'm gonna just break it off into however many garlic knots that I wanna make. So I'm thinking like 5. So one thing you will need for this is some vegan butter as well. I'm basically going to melt a little bit of it into a bowl with some garlic and then be able to brush that on at the end. Now for the garlic knots, in particular, I'm gonna stuff a little bit of cheese in the middle and some garlic in the middle. Then I'm gonna knot them up and then brush them with the vegan butter and then sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on top. So that's basically how I'm gonna do it, but feel free to get creative. You can even pop some pepperonis in there if you wanted to make like little mini calzone pizzas or something. About this size, I'm gonna put garlic and cheese in the middle, and then I basically stretch it out into 3 main loops or however many knots you wanna make. And then when you push down with a spoon, flip it over, tie off the second one, and then finish with the third one, and then you'll have a little mini garlic knot. This is obviously a very, very gratifying Koze kitchen today that we're doing, because it's not the healthiest, but everybody needs a good pizza night, especially now that it's spring. I'm so excited that it's spring. Sprinkle a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, some roasted garlic, and that should be it. We'll pop them in the oven, and hopefully our pizza will be done soon too. Alrighty. Okay. We're gonna cut our pizza, we're gonna do our taste test as per usual, then I'm gonna wrap up my final thoughts on short-term gratification versus long-term. Give it a little taste test. Okay. So now for the final result. Okay, wow. Using pizza dough at home is so worth it. Oh my God. I feel like there's like vegan cheese all in my teeth. Also really good. Stuffing it with cheese, was also a game changer. Guys, this may have been my favorite recipe we've done on Koze Kitchen to date. Not to mention, who doesn't want to eat pizza with a little bit of red wine? Just a little bit, you know? Just enough to wash down all that garlic. So what I can safely say is that using pizza dough at home and making pizza at home was definitely the long-term gratification that I was looking for today. Leave a comment down below. Do you guys like pizza? Have you ever tried using pizza dough at home? That was like my first time ever really dabbling, and I have to say, I really loved it. Also, be sure to make your vote on the next Koze Kitchen. We always alternate between baking and cooking, so the next one's gonna be some baked goods. I'll pop the poll up on the screen. Make sure that you cast your vote. And aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave also your comment down below in your opinion on short-term gratification versus long-term. Do you guys have any short-term goals or long-term goals that you're going for? I feel like for me right now, just knowing that summer's around the corner, despite the fact that I just made some glorious, cheesy, garlicky, buttery knots and pizza, I'm definitely trying to get my gym game back on with all the traveling and trips coming. So that's like my long-term goal, but short-term gratification today, because you also just need balance in life. Aside from that, I'll see you guys all next week. Bye, guys. Or however they do in Italy.